Jesus vouched for it. And Jesus can't lie. Right? He never lied. He never sinned. I want you to know what Jesus said about the Old Testament. In Matthew 23, he was speaking to the leaders, the religious leaders. He says in verse 34, I send you prophets and wise men. He's rebuking them now. And scribes, some of whom you will kill and crucify. Isn't this what's gone on throughout history, right? In the Old Testament, you see it over and over. These prophets, these men and everything were being killed. Some you'll flog in your synagogues and persecute from town to town. Here's the verse. So that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Where do we see Abel? The son of Adam and Eve. In the book of Genesis. In the beginning. And where do we see Zechariah? That's one we had to look up, right? We see him in 2 Chronicles, which is the historical end of the Old Testament. So from the beginning to the end of the Old Testament, from the first example to the last example, Jesus is saying the Old Testament is trustworthy. And it's setting the stage for me. It's setting the stage. Because isn't that what we see throughout the Old Testament? Is messianic prophecies. Over 300 of them. That this Messiah would come. And Jesus came as priest, prophet, and king. And if you look at the Bible as a whole, I don't see it as 66 books. It's one story of love. Of God's love for you. Redeeming you. Saving you from yourself. It's amazing that over the course of 1,500 years, the Bible was written telling one story. It's powerful. But what about those crazy events, right? Those miracles. Did Jesus really believe in Noah's Ark and the flood? And the answer is yeah. He used it as an example to talk about his coming return judgment. And what about Jonah? Swallowed by a fish for 3 days. Jesus used that as an example to talk about his own death, that he would be in a tomb for 3 days before God resurrected him. So Jesus vouched 100% for the Old Testament. You can trust it. You can trust Jesus. And if somebody says to you, you know what? The Bible, it could be a family member, it could be a friend. You shouldn't believe in the Bible. Those stories are crazy. It's fiction. Say, hey, listen, when you predict your death and resurrection and appear to over 500 people, then you can tell me what you believe, buddy. All right? Because that's what Jesus did. And I'm going to believe him. Because he predicted it and it came true. We can trust Jesus. Amen?